I am making artwork using scraps from a dye house in Kyoto, Japan. This is my cousin's dye house, which produces noren shop curtains and temple banners using traditional techniques. The production process inevitably produces scraps, which has no choice but to become garbage. Some of these scraps are made of high-quality silk and have beautiful colors. They were originally made for clients and may not be delivered if the color is only slightly different from what was desired or if the pattern is not clearly dyed. Let me take care of those. I cut those scraps into small pieces first. The reason for cutting is that these cloths were originally dyed for clients and have their logos and names on them, so the original design shouldn't be recognizable. They are then reconstructed and made into art that hangs on the wall. The artwork is transformed from its original design into something completely different, but you can still see some of the text and patterns used as part of the artwork, which gives it character. In order to reassemble the cut scraps, they must be attached to each other. The first method is to sew together using a sewing machine. It may sound strange, but I use the sewing machine not as a sewing tool but as an artistic tool, like a brush in a painting. What I mean is that when sewing clothes, the sewing needle on the sewing machine must proceed precisely as planned, right? However, the needle on my sewing machine moves freely as I imagine the finished artwork. Also for me, the threads used in these works are like the paint in a painting, and I choose them so that the colors will visually add accents to my work. I like to use a lot of vertical and horizontal lines when composing these artworks. This grid-like design is inspired by the fact that Kyoto, where I live, is composed of a grid of vertical and horizontal roads. The second way to attach scraps of fabric is to use the scraps like strokes of paint. I use the cut scraps along with acrylic paint to create a painting on canvas. I feel this method is more primitive than the sewing machine one, and is created by intuitively moving and getting my hands dirty, just like children do. I love to create artwork this way, and it has something to do with the fact that as a child, I preferred to paint alone rather than play outside. Finally, a more interior design-oriented approach is to make cushion covers using scraps. I like to decorate rooms, and I love to put quirky cushion covers as symbolic accents in a simple room design. For these cushion covers, scraps are placed on a cushion cover and sewn together by hand, like Japanese sashiko. In this case too, my style is to sew freely and not too neatly. With these three methods, I hope to not only rescue beautiful fabrics that had no choice but to become trash, but also to display them as art in room interiors around the world. I feel very happy when guests from all over the world come to my studio and take these pieces home with them. And I have to mention this. As I am sure everyone experiences, life has its ups and downs. I had many sad experiences a few years ago, including the mess caused by COVID. But it was right around that time that scraps of fabric from a dyeing factory caught my eye, and I decided to start working on an upcycling project. I don't know why I thought so, but perhaps it was because the scraps that were sadly discarded in a corner of the factory reminded me of myself at that time, and I felt I needed to get back on my feet again. Now I am proud of myself for doing so at that time. I wanted to find something beautiful out of the bitterness, so I have a sentimental value added to these works. But I hope you will simply enjoy the interesting crash of colors and shapes in my work. If you have a chance to stop by my art studio in Kyoto, please come and see these works.